Okay, so let's start this video with a bang, and I'm gonna be really fucking careful. My opinions about racism. Oh God, what am I doing with my life? Okay, so let me tell you a really quick story. I lived in Croatia, a region of Makarska, Croatia. If you don't know where Croatia is, it's just right across from the sea, the Jadran Sea. Uh, Jadransko more on Croatian, but I really forgot what the Jadransko more is called in English. But the point being is, I call it Jadran Sea in English because that's how I translate it. But I know it probably has a different name in English. But the point being is, Croatia used to be part of of the Nazi group. A lot of people over there. Unfortunately, the history is they were Nazis, right? So, right, uh, and later on they turned to communists. And when I moved to Canada to Croatia when I was 4 years old and growing up there, a lot of kids hated me because I was simply Canadian, and they brought up that I'm a Nazi. And one time I responded to a kid over there. I'm like, "You Croatians were actually Nazis. The West were Nazis." And he wasn't being a troll when he said this. He's like, "No, we were communists. We weren't Nazis." And I'm like, "And that's better, but you were Nazis." And he's like, "Oh, we weren't. We were communists." I'm like, "Dude, you were Nazis. Look it up. You were Nazis." And then I knew that guy knew nothing about his history. And I don't blame him for it. I blame his school, his educational system, right? Now, I don't know how Germany does it, right? Because in Germany, they censor uh, the initials SS. How do I know this? My friend who from Croatia moved to Germany, got her initials SS. She couldn't use her initials because it reminded them of the SS, right? It's like, are you fucking kidding me? And the same thing with the Nazi flag, right? Like they censor it in video games. You can't be used in video games. But let me give you a hint. Now, I'm gonna give you a hint. You shouldn't censor it because of several factors. Germany, I'm telling you this. Listen, Germany. Listen, China. You shouldn't censor something because if you do it, just like when America, Canada, uh, actually, just like when Canada tried to censor weed by making all those ads that are saying, "Don't smoke, honey. If you smoke, you're not you anymore when you smoke." And then what would happen? You'd smoke. It's like inviting you to do drugs, but you're not. But that's not what it is. But you get what I'm saying. So if you're saying to somebody your initials are censored, you're now bringing it up. Now she's gonna wonder, why are my initials censored? And if they find out, which they will in the gaming industry or from any industry, movies, films, etc., that Germany has censored the Nazi flag, the swastika, they're gonna be like, why have you censored it? Why are you teaching me this, right? And they're gonna go and God knows what the fuck they're gonna look at to find the truth behind um, Nazi Germany. And most of the informations, like myself, I was a victim of this, are misleading. And I have been brainwashed one time, right? And I admit this. I admit this, right? Luckily, that has left me a long time ago when I was brainwashed. And I always told my teachers in my school educational board, why aren't your educational boards better with this? Why aren't they trying to make us never forget what happened, but at the same time teach us a lesson that what the Germans did, not every fucking Germans, but Nazi Germany did, was wrong. So in real and gaming, I'm not saying that they should do it in gaming, but if they censor a swastika flag, you're censoring history in a way. Okay, so that's always bothered me, right? But okay, it's a game, whatever. But it's not whatever. You can't do that. You can't put an iron cross there because then they're gonna associate an iron cross with evil if you put it instead of the swastika. So it backfires anyway. And the iron cross is used in a lot of fucking military organizations. So and you can say it's also Christian in a way, right? So why are you using the Iron Cross, in gaming instead of the swastika? Just portray history as it is. Germany, fuck off already with your restrictions. I calling you out, Call of Duty, for fucking bending down to that. But the point being is, Germany, if you keep on making them wonder why the fuck, they're gonna look it up, research it, mislead themselves, and those that actually find a good channel or a good book or a good history, who actually put time and effort, will learn, oh my god, I wasted so much time. It was truly a bad time, and both sides just suck. And that's the truth. Both sides just suck. Some sides just did it worse. And now, what does this have to do with racism, you might add? Well, I'll tell you right now. An Asian person on YouTube, and I won't say who, said, your white ancestor this. Your white ancestor is responsible for putting you up on a scale where your community is higher than any other racial community. First of all, it's not racial. Second of all, I don't know why it's racism. Third of all, it's skin color. We're all human. That's how I see it. I don't see it as a racism, because racism doesn't exist for me. If you have a different skin color, good for you. You're a different type of a human than I don't give a fuck. If you chop off your dick and you become a female and you all of a sudden you identify as a transgender, I don't give a fuck. As long as you're still human and not killing people, you can be wherever the fuck you want. What bothers me, however, is if you force your ideology, if you force how you perceive something, and tell others that they need to view it the same way you do. That's what bothers me. And if you attack somebody for something that doesn't even matter, then you're stupid. The Croatian who attacked me for being a Canadian and didn't know his own backstory, and just kept on attacking me because I was a Canadian, I always call him a hypocrite, because the Makarska, Croatia, the little town we lived in, was a tourist town. And so they got money from tourists who came to visit their place. But they hated outsiders. So it's like, good job on your... good job. I don't know what you were trying to accomplish there. I mean, what were you trying to accomplish? I don't get it. You just proved how stupid you are, uninformed, and... You're bringing something up that doesn't matter, because the war ended 70 years ago. So why are you bringing it up? Why does it matter? And when I moved to America, but the first thing is, first, there were these white girls in a disco taking a picture with a black guy, with an African male. That was rare where we were from, right? Because most of the majority of the community was white, right? And so I moved to Canada, and I noticed this strange look, that Asian people gave to the black African Americans, that the black people gave to the Asian community, that the whites gave to the Asians and the blacks blacks and Asians gave to the fucking whites, right? And everybody was just like kind of looking at each other weird, and that's the entire feeling here in the West. Everybody looks at each other weird. They're like, they're judging each other. And they're not even opening up to each other. They always think that somebody's holding a racial intent, right? But that's how they perceive it. That's how they think it. And then in politics and in social media, it's like, Black Lives Matter this, White Lives Matter this, Asian matters matter this, Asians are oppressing this. And I'm like, dude, I don't give a fuck. Because I realize one thing, there's a repeating pattern. One side's hated now, and then in the future one side's going to be hated, and then the other side's going to get hated. It's never going to stop. Racism is going to shift from one side to the other, just like complaints are going to shift from one side to the other. It's never going to end. It's a never-ending conflict. But if you say to me, and I'm quoting this Asian again, your white ancestor put you on a pedestal above Asians and above black people, then I have a problem with that, because I was raised in Croatia, and my white ancestor was in Canada. But I lived in Croatia, where there was no racial wars for control of the region. There's only white people over there who have nothing involved in history relating to that. And then you tell me that that my white ancestor has elevated me to a higher position. My white ancestor hasn't elevated me to shit. In fact, if you want the life I lived, go ahead. I wasn't fucking organized crime. I had to scrape for my money. Fuck, I still have to scrape for my money. But the point being is, the color of your skin has to do nothing with your current state and power today. And I fucking hate that when a lot of people of different color look at the white man and say that. It has nothing to do with me. And it's not my fault that most of the majority of people in America are fucking racist. That's their region. In Canada, most of us here in Canada, we don't give a shit. And people say from America, we live in igloos, and they actually believe that most of the time. It's fucking mind-blowing. So America, you know, and people who are from America complain. But the Asian person who said I'm on a higher scale is from Canada. And I don't understand where she's living in what part of Canada, but I'm assuming that part of Canada is full of racist people. I don't know where the fuck she lives, okay? I don't know. But where I'm from, we're not racist. We couldn't give a shit. And this is what I'm trying to bring up to people who are arguing about racism. In Croatia, Makaska, the little town, I was hated for being a Canadian. What does this have to do with racism? Just hold on, let me explain. In the mountainous regions of Zagorje, nobody gave a shit where I was from, my background, where I lived, what I represented, what I did, if I would chop off my dick and become a transgender. Nobody gave a shit. So it really depends on the regions, where you're in, how people perceive things, how racist they are in that region. And just because somebody is racist in your region doesn't mean they're racist across the entire world. So keep your shit to yourself, please. And if you have a problem with your specific place, your specific demographic, your region, fucking solve it. Don't bring it to mine. And that's all I have to say. If one part of Canada is racist, it doesn't mean the entire part of Canada is racist. If one part of America is racist, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean the entire part of America is racist. If one part of the world is censored like Germany, it doesn't mean one part of the world is just censored, because if you go to communist China, there's a lot of goddamn things censored. It's how people perceive things. There's no racism. Stop treating racism like a real thing, like it exists. It doesn't exist. Your little fucking fantasy in your mind, that little manipulating factor thinks it exists. It doesn't exist. The only problem that exists for racism are the people, the rich people, and the other classes. There's no middle class, there's no lower class, just the rich people, the politicians, who keep bringing it up so people keep killing each other. And that's all it is. And they're implementing these unjust rules. And we white people, in our power and glory, have no power over a specific group sect of other white people who are racist and who are politicians. We don't have that power to stop them. Now, should we try? Yeah, we should try, but there's a problem. Our taxes were so high, we need to afford somehow to pay our bills. Okay? And most of us are not like you people, and I'm not saying you black people, you white people, you yellow people, because I don't give a fuck. When I say you people, I mean you humans. We are not like you humans. We are all not the same humans. All humans are different. I can't afford my shit. I have to work. I have no time for protest. If I went to protest even for a week, I'd go broke and I'd be in so much stress. I'd take a gun to my head and I'd shoot myself right there. I can't afford a day without working. I can't. And that's how life is right now. And I'm sorry I cannot protest and help you, but I have no problem with racism. Because I don't experience racism. And if you experience racism, it's not my white ancestor. My white ancestor might have, God knows, done what, but he's dead. And he doesn't have the control of what the hell I'm doing today. Because he's dead. He's hit the hay. He's gone. He's burned. He's 10 feet underground. He's in the bottom of the ocean. He's dead. He's fucking dead, and I'm here. And I wish I was fucking dead, just because of how much bullshit is going around in the world. So my one ancestor has done shit for me. Okay? My one ancestor has done shit for me. Okay? You got that? My white ancestor has done shit for me. I don't give a fuck about my white ancestor. I don't give a fuck about what color you are. I don't give a fuck if you're black, white, brown. You know what I give a fuck about? I give a fuck about the females in Iran. And this is for all those fucking feminists out there. Okay? In Iran, a woman is second. She's nothing. She has to do everything according to the man in Iran. I know this woman in Iran. If I had all the money in the world, everything in the world, I'd set aside all my dreams for her. I give everything in my power to get her on a plane, to bring her here, and just tell her, do what the hell you want. Be free. And I'm so broke right now, I can't even afford that. But if I had all the power in the world, I'd get her the fuck out of there and I'd bring her here. And that's honestly my biggest wish in life. I really like this girl. But in Iran, they mistreat women so fucking much. And I'm more worried about that right now, than I am worried about the racism in the world. So I'm sorry if I don't fucking cry for you. I don't care. Racism has been going on for fucking the entire time in the world. You know, it's been going on for centuries. It's never going to end. It's just going to shift to another stereotype, another stereotype. It's an NP complete problem. If you want racism to end, stop fucking talking about it and treat each other where we should always treat each other being in the first place, what we should treat each other being in the first place, and that is human. Hey human, hi black human, hi yellow human, hi white human, I am human. Are you a human? If you are, we'll get along just fine. But if you keep saying, you know, hey, you white racist, I'm gonna tell you, race? This is not fucking an MMO. This is not an epic fantasy. This is not orc and elves. We're all human. There's only one humanoid species on this good planet Earth, and they're called humans. And the only thing different is their skin color. Have we learned nothing from epic fantasy? An orc in epic fantasy, like in World of Warcraft, can be green, black, white, and they won't be racist against each other's skin. We humans are racist because of each other's skins. We call that racism, but that's colorism. It's colorism. There's this one person I know. He's my stepbrother. He's colorblind. And he's like, black, white, yellow, they're all the same to me. I'm colorblind. Why should I give a fuck? One's darker than the other. Why should I give a fuck? I can't even see colors. And he's right. You're all human. To colorblind people, we don't give a shit. To blind people, we don't give a shit. It's all in the eyes. It's all in how you perceive things. Please stop talking about racism. And if you talk about it, think about what the fuck you're saying behind it. And if I do this, I'm not necessarily Asian. Or I'm not necessarily this. I'm not necessarily that. And I don't come from the West, where it was terrible to you Asian and black people. I'm not laughing at you as I say that. I'm just saying everybody has it differently, and you can't necessarily blame somebody's white ancestor for something since he's in the fucking ground. He's been in the fucking ground for like decades now. and it has nothing to do with me. As you can see, and I'll tell you right now how much money I have on my bank account. You know how much money I have on my bank account? $250. That's all I have. I have shit. So, fuck you. Okay? Your white ancestor shit. I have shit. Right now, I'm struggling. In this room that looks big, this is my whole goddamn apartment. And behind that door right there is a little toilet. That's what my life is. Fuck you. My white ancestor hasn't put me on any scale. This is the only reason I made that video, because that comment has been annoying me for so much. That's all I wanted to say. Good night. God damn it.